Hello, beautiful tea minds. Welcome to the Tea Crane. Our Nara Native Wakocha just came back in with this year's spring harvest, and it's an amazing tea. So I want to show you and have a taste of it together. So please go ahead, sit and relax, brew yourself a tea. It's tea time. The Nara Native Wakocha is a long seller at the Tea Crane. I've been carrying this tea ever since the start of the Tea Crane, and it is an iconic tea. It's made from native seed-grown tea trees that are produced from the Yamato Midori cultivar. The Yamato Midori cultivar is a cultivar that was discovered in Nara. And the farmer of this tea decided that he wanted to bring this tea back to its original roots. So he took seeds from the Yamato Midori cultivar species and then planted them into a tea garden, recreating or going back to the original native Nara tea species. So this tea is grown in Nara from an authentic Nara cultivar, and it carries all the traits that you can receive from the Nara terroir, which is why I think this tea is amazing. Also, the farmer of this tea is Fumiaki Iwata, who is a farmer who has been with the Tea Crane for a long time and whose vision on tea I cherish very much, because he really looks for the authentic, natural way of tea growing and also applies this to developing a Wakōcha, a Japanese black tea that is inherently Japanese, with traits that cannot be discovered in other tea regions. And sometimes these teas tend to get a little bit close to, for example, Darjeeling, especially first flush, because Fumiaki Iwata tries to keep his Wakōchas very lightly oxidized, retaining some greenness in them, and that retains freshness, like the freshness of sencha, with a good aroma, like the aroma of a black tea. So that combination, sencha, freshness with aroma of black tea, is what I think makes Japanese Wakōcha unique. And that is what I'm sure that we will find back in this tea as well. Looking at the tea leaf, we can already see, look at the package, it is quite bulky. It's very, very compressed and all the tea is pressed in there. And of course, I could have chosen for the design and the look and feel of the package and reduce the amount of tea, but I didn't want to do that. So we went with the approach to try to fill and pack it up as much as possible, providing you with a good 50 grams of this absolutely delicious tea. Now that results in a little bit of a chunky package, but that is because if we look at the tea leaf, this year's tea leaves have gotten rather large. This is one of the leaves, this is one of the leaves, and these are rather large leaves. They're very curly, very stiff, and very long. And that is because these tea leaves have not been chopped or cut. They have been retained in their full length. And so it gives us a full leaf tea, which is something that is already very rare within the spectrum of black tea, where most teas are cut and chopped and so that they fit into tea bags or that they fit more easily in a package. But we really wanted to retain the full size of the leaf. And so when we infuse it, it will return to its original shape, and you will see the beautiful black tea leaves come back to their original shape when the tea is brewed. So without any further explanation, let's get into brewing the tea and getting a taste for what this year's Nara Native Wakocha tastes like. First, as always, I'm going to warm up my teaware with some hot water. And then I will also insert the tea leaf into the warmed up juices so that I can already get a nice scent and understanding of what the tea might turn out like when brewed later on. I hope this tea leaf is going to fit into my rather tiny teapot. I like to work with small teaware, especially when brewing for 1 or 2 persons. These 100 milliliter teapots are quite enough because you do go through a few infusions. And having a few infusions will result in quite an extensive amount of tea if you keep on drinking. So smaller teapot is what I like to use. So having rinsed out the teaware, I'm going to have a smell of this amazing tea leaf that has now warmed up inside the warm Kyusu. It has a very good and strong, a deep black tea-like aroma. It is somewhat spicy, it's rather thick. There's some herbacity in it, but mostly I think what I recognize in it are spices. Also a little bit of fruitiness, but definitely some freshness as well. Let's try brewing it. For a black tea, it's okay to take a little bit more time. You can leave it up to 2 or 3 minutes, depending on how intense you want to bring its flavors and aroma out. Usually takes a little bit of time for the tea leaf to unfurl and also to give off its full potential. So black teas generally are not brewed for many more infusions, although what I find with these Japanese black teas is that for 2, 3, sometimes even 4 infusions, they are still very, very enjoyable. So with this tea as well, I will let it steep for about 2 minutes and then I'll brew it out, and let's have a look at the color of the liquor. So 2 minutes have passed. Let's have a look at what the liquor of this tea has turned out like. Oh, I must have filled it up a little bit too much. But look at that beautiful reddish golden liquor, almost brownish orange, very clear, very golden. So unlike what you'd expect from a black tea, resulting usually in a very crimson liquor, this one is very on the light side, where you have a more brownish orange. And that is also because very likely the tea is somewhat lightly fermented and still retains a lot of green in the now unfurled leaf. And what I want to do is to take a look at the color of that leaf and to also get a sniff of the brewed tea leaf's aroma now. Definitely more of that fruitiness has come out, some very pleasant aromas. The spiciness is a bit less now, but definitely a lot of sweetness, a lot of fruitiness that comes out of the aroma right now. And then if we take a look at the color of the leaf itself, you see that there are sufficient reddish hues, some darker brown, but there's also still some green remaining in the color of it. And that points to the lesser amount of oxidation and fermenting that has gone on in this particular tea. Of course, I also don't want to miss the taste test. So again, look at how very clear this tea is. There's no cloudiness in it. It's just very transparent, and you have that beautiful orange, brown, golden-like liquor. So much sweetness. It's very thick in the mouth. It has some sense of, there's a little bit of that spiciness still. You get some notes of barley. There's some fruit in there. And then in the aftertaste, because the aftertaste also lingers on very long, you have a little bit of acidity that comes to the fore. It's a very refreshing and invigorating tea that I think is very suitable to a mid-season, like spring or autumn. This is a very great tea to enjoy. Now also, this producer does not sell these black teas immediately after they have been produced. They prefer to, at least for half a year or 3 to 4 months at minimum, age the tea so that this intense green notes, like the ones for sencha, and that somewhat stinginess are subdued, and that more of the sweetness and the aromas of the tea come to develop, so that really the full potential of the black tea comes out and that we may enjoy it. So they are very peculiar about keeping their black teas back until they think they are ready to be consumed and ready to be sold. So that is also why this Nara Native Wakocha is only available now. And I have been waiting for quite a while, and I've been going to the producer and tasting the teas with them, talking about when it might be ready. And finally they have given the go and they supplied the packages, and now we are all able to enjoy this amazing tea. So if you are interested to give this tea a try, check out the link in the description below. I have included the link to the product page for this Nara Native Wakocha. You can purchase it from the tea crane. It is available. If you enjoy watching the videos of the tea crane, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you thought this video was interesting, like the video and let us know in the comments. Have you tried Wakocha? Did you enjoy it? And what would you like to see more in Wakocha, or what kinds of Wakocha do you like? I really think that you will enjoy this tea. I hope you will get a taste of it, and I will see you in the next video. Create your silence.